Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. It's great to have you here this morning. Welcome to the show. All-time high. I made this prediction yesterday and I put my name in the sand and I left the video there, put it on all my socials, unedited, undeleted, just left alone saying all-time high today. I was very confident. It didn't come yesterday, but it's right on the brink today. All-time high, inevitable. So I say again, all-time high today. And why will it be an all-time high? And what happens when we hit all-time high? Are we going to get a big correction? Are we going to get a big crash? Is it going to sell off? Well, I'm going to give you both sides of that argument. And a little spoiler alert, I tell you what, once it hits the all-time high, which it's right on the edge of right now, it'll push through, and it could push through with FOMO to 5% above where we are. Remember, I've said for the longest time, I apologize, a 10% year. That's from the beginning to where we are at the end of the year. So I'm expecting a very quick run to 10%, and then the market will go sideways. So should you be buying now? Sorry. I know people want to go, yeah, tell me to buy. It's going to be great. I can make money. But no, it's not the time to buy now. Not unless you are, most people that are buying now aren't happy with a 15% drop. They're simply not. They're not interested in a 50% drop. They don't like it. They feel uncomfortable. I like to be up hundreds of percent on my trades, and that's what I'm aiming on. Well, not my trades, my investments. That's what I'm aiming for. So I'm not buying. I bought right at the bottom of the V shape. I bought exactly at the bottom. I've not sold any shares whatsoever, and I'm very, very happy with the return. You can see here, this was the V shape here 3 months ago. There it is. There was the V shape. I bought right at the bottom, and as you can see, year to date, and there it is really clearly. You can see it. Year to date, if we go to the 1 year, no, in fact, the year to date is what's important. We're up now on the year to date. Now that's important because I said we've got a 7%, we've got a 10% year. Now you might say, well, how are you up 7% already? I'm up 2.5 times because of margin. The S&P is not up 7% this year at all. From the beginning to where we are now, we're more like 2.5, 3. I'm up at 7 because of 2.5 times because of margin. So it's not the time to buy, but we are going to an all-time high. Also, coming up after this, I've got full analysis on Virgin Galactic because we've got some more data now in, and Virgin Galactic started to short squeeze yesterday, went straight through and up 30% in minutes, and we're going to give you more information today and expect it to continue. Okay, so all that's coming up. So if you've just tuned in, tap the like button. That would be absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much indeed. Tap the like button and consider subscribing as well. That would be absolutely wonderful. We're having record-breaking days every single day, which is really amazing to see. Let me share with you the subscribers today. You won't believe it as I bring you all this news. So let me bring it on the screen right now. Let me click a couple of buttons and look at this. Look at this. We pushed through to 80,000 and it went straight to 81,000, and then we're already 81,099. We're really getting excited now about going to 100,000. It's why I cancelled my holiday and pushed it back to October so I can be here when we do actually get to 100,000. It's going to be quite a special day. I've got lots lined up for it. We're going to basically have fireworks and everything. It's going to be great. Anyway, okay, get ready for that. We're very, very excited. Right. So why am I bullish? Well, we need to go from the beginning. And why do I think we've got a all-time high around the corner? There are many reasons, and one indicator is not enough. No chart is enough. No Donald Trump president is enough telling us we're going to all-time highs. No Warren Buffett is enough. In fact, Warren Buffett sold his position, didn't he? Or at least he sold his VOO and his SPY, but he's still fully invested. He has a huge cash pile, but he still has more equities than cash. Remember that. So we can't just say one thing. Why did I buy? Well, first of all, I'm a long-term investor. You have to decide, are you a long-term investor or a short-term trader? 95% of traders 95% of day traders lose money. That's a statistic fact. So are you better than everybody else? Well, I don't like to think I am, so I take that off the table. So I'm an investor. People say, well, if you're a long-term investor, you're always going to be up in the future. Well, that's not the case. There's a reason why the S&P is up in the future, but it's not a magic trick. It's not just inevitable because we say so. There are reasons why the S&P is up, because we make it go up. And I don't mean because we make it go up by buying it in more than we sell it, which is part of the reason, but the mechanics and the way that the stock market works and the way the Federal Reserve are there to protect jobs but also balance inflation. The whole infrastructure is designed to consistently grow over time. Are things really more valuable than they were years ago? Not necessarily, because money gets devalued, so prices go up, so share prices go up. So it's the reason why you should always be invested. So long-term investing is always going to work long-term, not because it's a magic trick or it just always does, just because your grandfather said it always does. It does because the mechanics and the machinery is there to make it happen. But it only happens for you invested in the stock market in the United States because the US holds the global currency, the US dollar. And it holds the dollar because of its military power. And I've explained this in a long video. It takes a lot to explain how that is. But the US dollar is the currency of the world. Other countries don't necessarily want it to be the case. Most countries do, but China certainly don't. Russia definitely don't. It's because of the military prowess of the United States. It's not just about having a big army because that's great to go to war and defend yourself. There are other benefits, and holding the currency where it is one of those. Power and strength is very important, and it's a whole story behind the US dollar. So as long as the US dollar is the preferred global currency, then the Fed always have the ability to turn on the money printer more than any other country can do that. Because you'd say, well, why can't anyone just turn the money printer on and print more money? Well, it doesn't work as effectively for other countries as it does for the United States. The United States is in a privileged position, so it's why the best businesses are based out of America. They are American businesses. However, they might not always do all their business in America. For example, China is where iPhones are made. I know Trump would like it to be different, but that's just the reality of it, right? So the best businesses in the world by far are in America. So if you are investing in America, you are investing in the strongest economy in the world, not by luck or a magic trick. It's designed to be that way. However, there are those that want to change it. China don't want it to be the case. They want to be the central currency of the world. So don't take it all for granted. Understand why the stock market goes up. It goes up because we make it go up, and it won't always do that just because we say so. So we have to understand why it does that. Well, right now, the mechanics are in place for it to do that. And there's nothing, any reason why that would ever change. So great. We invest in the United States. Now, when we had Trump come into power and Liberation Day, many people took their money out of the US and decided to buy all world, the UK, Europe, China, whatever you like. Now, I'm a very proud Englishman, of course. However, I understand and recognize the privilege that I have to be able to invest directly in the United States because I am here living in the United States. I have residency here, a home and so on. So I'm privileged that I can buy the US economy. Not everybody can. Yes, you can buy anywhere in the world, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, pretty much. But if you want to buy the S&P, then you have to buy a version of it in other countries. And that's okay too. I'm not saying you can't, but to buy the S&P, you will know VU, SPY is not available on the UK exchange on Robinhood at the moment. That might one day change, but that's how it is. So I have the privilege, and anyone who lives in America does have the privilege of buying the US economy. Don't feel put out by that. Everybody else can do the same thing. They just can't buy it in its purest form, right? So I recognize, even though I am proud to be English, the best economy, even though it's got the biggest debt, I'm not buying the economy, I'm buying the businesses. Remember, the stock market is not the economy. The economy is behind the stock market. The stock market always buys the future of the prices of the businesses. It's also understanding the economy that it lives on, but it's that's why we talk about bonds and other things like that and government borrowing and so on. But it's not. We're not buying the economy. We are buying the businesses. Those that are investors own the best businesses in the world. So we know it's right to now own the United States. So we're not selling out. I didn't sell out and go all world into Europe and so on. I held and I stayed into America. Now, that was the first issue. That was the first signal. When we had this here, when we had that big drop there on liberation, in fact, if we go year to date, we had that big drop there, that massive, massive drop. That was Trump coming in with his Liberation Day and uncertainty and tariffs. Now, what we looked at was, are the businesses underperforming? Are they going to underperform to this? Are they being affected by this? And we did our calculations. We studied all the earnings. We reported that 76% of the S&P 500 performed well on their earnings. So we were very, very confident with the businesses we own, and particularly those at the top of the S&P 500, which tend to be techie, and techie is very resilient to tariffs. So we wasn't concerned. Now, those that were concerned didn't understand what they owned. They sold the US and they bought Europe, and it was a big mistake. And because of that, Europe had a rally on its stock market. It went up because everybody was going, great, I'm going to buy into Europe. So it rallied, and then more people bought it because it rallied, and then more people sold the US because it was going down. It was a self-revealing prophecy. Absolute nonsense. But that's how the stock market works. It oversells, overbuys. Everybody freaks out. Warren Buffett has said, and I absolutely agree with this wholeheartedly, Warren Buffett says, and I do the same thing, once you identify a business that you want, once you identify something that you want to own, you want it to go down. Now, no one understands that. They go, well, that's rubbish. I want it to go up. No, you don't. You want it to go down because you are not interested in the stock price. You are interested in the business. You want to own the business. Now, when I buy the S&P 500, it's all allocated like this. I'll show you what I mean and why we're going to get an all-time high. I'm explaining it all now. If you see here, the top 10 holdings, there are 507 actually in the S&P 500. I know it's kind of weird, but when I put $100 in the S&P, VU, that's the way I buy VU, I put $7.03 in Apple. I put $5.87 in Microsoft, and you can get the rest of it as all the way down. Okay, that's how it works. Okay, so I'm buying shares and I'm buying my allocation as decided by the committee of Standard & Poor, the S&P 500, and Vanguard track that index and they show me the way. All right, that's all I've got to do is stay in. That's how it works, right? So I own the businesses. I don't own stocks and shares. I own businesses. Now, the fundamentals of those businesses did not change. Now, arguably, there was some impact because tariffs can affect you, but I explained no, they will not affect inflation. They will not affect these businesses, and they didn't, because they performed well on earnings and they're performing well again on the next earnings. We'll learn about that with NVIDIA in a few days' time. We're going to cover it live. So people were wrong when they said inflation will go up. They were wrong to say I'm selling America to buy Europe. All they did was follow the leader. Everybody started to sell, and I went, great, this is great. Everyone sell everything. Sell it all. Drive the stock market to zero if you want. Because at the end of the day, those businesses are still functioning and making products and services. I want to own the businesses, not the shares. So I started to buy all the way down here. So a couple of shares, 5 shares, 10 shares, 20 shares, 30 shares. And I increased each lot as we went down until I got to here and started buying 30, 40, 50 shares every day. Lots of 10, 20, 30s every day. I was increasing. And that then gave me a V-shaped recovery. You often hear about it, a V-shaped recovery, because I bought so much that when it started going up, which it inevitably would because of the performance of the companies, the infrastructure of the way that the market works, the way that interest rates are coming down, the way that GDP is good, PPI, CPI, the earnings reports, every indicator was there. The S&P at 17 times earnings, the S&P below its 200 moving average, every single indicator was screaming buy. So I did. Others got fearful and kept selling. I kept buying more and more. So now I've got a complete V-shaped recovery. I mean, look at it. Now I'm going to show you my all-time position to demonstrate look at that V shape. I mean, look at that. Is that incredible to look at? That is buying like Buffett. That is conviction. Now I'm going to show you my all-time position now because it's very important as we approach a very, very important number and an all-time high. So I'm going to show you my all-time position now. I don't show this every day unless anybody asks, but I'm going to because it's not important on the show, but I'm going to do it right now. I started trading and investing 4 years ago. Now, when I started, it wasn't the first time I invested, and it wasn't the first time that I was trading. I've been trading and investing for many, many years, but not on a TV show, not live on YouTube. So when I came in here, I was trying to focus on the show and so on, and finding my feet, what the show was about. We focus on Virgin Galactic a lot. All kind of things were happening, and I got swept up in the momentum of day trading. Big mistake. And I kept buying Virgin Galactic coming out of COVID, up and up and up. And I lost $30,000 on Virgin Galactic because I bought at the top, and I lost about $5,000 to $10,000 on Virgin Orbit. And then when we had Donald Trump with Liberation Day, I was down $65,000. Now, most of that was self-inflicted because when we were down, when I was down, I sold everything for a loss. It's why I didn't pay any tax at all the last few years, and restructured my portfolio because we were now at 50,000 subscribers or wherever we were, or 40,000, I forget now. And I thought, right, the show is now mainstream media, news, TV. I want to be fully in the S&P, not day trading. I want to be a completely different channel. We changed the name from Martyn Lucas Day Trader to Martyn Lucas Investor. We rebranded it and it became a completely different structure. So I moved and I sold at the worst time possible when I knew it was going to go up. It was inevitable, and I sold everything for losses, posted huge losses, and I bought the S&P. When I could have waited and been up again, but I decided to sell everything at a loss and start again. Pay the ultimate price for the ultimate lesson. So I did. I sold everything down and started again. But unlike those who think they've lost money, I don't think I lost anything at all. I just sold and then restructured. I swapped my SPCE, my Virgin Orbit, all the different things, and I swapped it for the S&P 500. And I remained in the market, and I was down. I was down about 35 grand, and then I was down about 65,000 when Trump did Liberation Day. So I'm now down 65 grand and about 55%. All right, big loss. However, it's not a loss because I never sold. So I bought with conviction at the bottom. So I'm now going to show you my all-time position, and you can see now the difference between day trading and long-term investing and how it works. So here we go. I'm still down overall. There is my overall position. But look at that return. That is the lessons that I learned. So when I started investing, as you can see, up went my portfolio, and then because we were coming out of COVID, and then down and down and down and down with Virgin Galactic. I was all in Virgin Galactic. I bought it $70, and that's old money. So that's 20 times that compared to where we are now, because we 20 times reverse split. I was going all the way down and all the way down and all the way down. As you can see at the bottom there, right in the center of the screen, is when I moved into the S&P 500. Just left of it, I moved into the S&P 500. That's when we were about 30, 40,000 subscribers. And I thought, right, now it's time to do something different. So I sold for a loss. I could have waited, but I sold for a loss. I bought bought everything in the S&P and stayed in. And we started to go up, and I would buy a few shares along the journey because the stock market ultimately always goes up over time. That's what an appreciating asset does. And it would go up over time, and it kept going up. And I kept working, and I kept earning money. And the more I would go up and the more money I earned, the more money Robinhood would give me on margin. The more money they would allow me to invest. So then when it started to come down, right here, this was this position here, starting to come down. This is when Donald Trump came into power. And then we had Liberation Day. There it is. Look, boom, all the way down. Crash, 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 crash. Did I sell? No. Did I give up? No. Was I out of the market? No. Had I lost any money? Well, yes, I was down $65,000 at the bottom of that V shape, right around about, somewhere around about here. I was down about $65,000. What did I do? Say, oh my God, this isn't working. I'm now down $65,000 with hundreds of, insane amounts of margin. I'm going to get margin called. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I bought on the way down, and I bought more on the way down and increased it because I was absolutely convicted with I was fully committed with conviction with my investments. I learned to my expense the errors of my ways at the beginning. I made mistakes, and I'm glad I did, because I learned with the full force of losing money. 65 grand, I experienced a technical margin call live on the show. It even brought me to tears. It was painful, horrible, absolutely horrible. And remember, this is all the money I had in the world. I left home at 16 with no money whatsoever. Some people say I've inherited money. I've never had any money. I left home at 16 and started to work. I've only been on the unemployment dole for 3 weeks in my entire life. I've worked in the same industry my entire life, entertainment. I've bought my own houses by earning $1 tips on cruise ships for many, many years. I've had no free money, no government money, no sponsorship money. I have worked for every penny and every subscriber I've ever achieved. Okay, so I kept buying and buying and investing on the way down, and bought more and more as we approached the bottom. So look at this, folks. I was $65,000 down just a few weeks ago. 55%. I'm now down just 4%. And because I'm in margin, the S&P 500 only needs to go up by about 1.75%. And I told you it will do 10% this year. It will. And when it does, and when we go to all-time highs, which could happen today, I said it could happen yesterday. Today, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. I won't be down 65 grand. I won't be down 7,600. I will be up $15,000 just when we get to the all-time high of where we were before. And that's where we were here. This was the all-time high at the time. Now you're looking at that going, how can that be the all-time high? Because you're past that point. Yes, because I'm in margin. The all-time high of the S&P was in fact here. At that point, the S&P was at all-time high. So why am I not at an all-time high now? Because I'm obviously higher. It's because I bought more at a lower price. So when we get to the S&P's value of what it is here, I will, in fact, be up about $15,000. And at that point, I will have just shy of $500,000. Now, $500,000 is $500,000, and $500,000 will make me $50,000 a year on average with doing nothing at all. Now you might say, well, yeah, but you have margin. Well, it goes up fast, but it can go down fast. It's gone up fast, not because of margin. Yes, partly, but mainly because I bought with conviction at the bottom. That's the reason why I've made so much money so quickly. So, does it look bad that I'm down? No, it's a long-term journey. When I started this, I made the declaration live on my show from $5,000 to $1 million by the end of the decade, live on the show, unedited, as it happens for you all to see. I'm now going to reach probably 2 million live on the show. I haven't declared that yet. When I do, you'll know, but it's still 1 million. It might be 2 million the way it's going. So that's going to happen. So what happens along the journey is not important. I want the stock market to go down because the more I buy with conviction, the more it goes up when it goes up. That's the point. Now, you might say, well, what about margin? Don't you want to reduce margin? Well, of course I want to reduce margin because if it starts to go down, it will go down fast as well. You're absolutely right. However, I bought at the bottom on the conviction of knowing what the positions of the businesses were. I'm very happy and very confident with the positions I own and the businesses that I own. I'm not worried about the stock market going down. In fact, I'll show you, I actually have a buffer of 46.5%. The stock market from here has to go down by 46%. It's not doing that because of the quality and the value of the businesses and the performance. It's not doing it. So I'm not going to get margin called. However, what do I do with the margin? Well, it's very simple. I want to get to $1 million. That's done. I've worked hard, I've stayed in, I've gone through the pain, I've gone down, I felt the pain, and then I moved into a better asset, the S&P, for integrity of the show as well. And then I decided that I learned more. I made friends with CEOs, hedge fund managers, everybody I talked to, the banks. I learned what was the value. I knew when to buy. I bought with conviction, and I bought more than I've ever done. I was doing 20, 30, 40, 50 trades a day on the shares a day of the S&P when it was getting to the bottom and at the bottom. And now all I have to do is continue to go to work on YouTube. That's my income, earn money and pay off margin. That's it. I don't need to buy again. Now I will buy again, and I hope I can buy again. But now the rules have changed because now I'm not trying to make money. I've made money. I'm trying to protect money. When you start investing, you take risk and you push it. When you got money, you protect it. So what am I going to do? Well, we're about to hit an all-time high in the S&P. There's no question about it. Now, my average before all of this nonsense started with Liberation Day was I had a fraction of the shares that I have today, and it was $517 was my average. Now, you might say your average hasn't come down that much. It's gone from 517 to 494. Well, it is a big difference. It might not sound a lot, 517 to 494. It's not 25% drop, which is what we had. Well, I didn't sell at the top and buy at the bottom, did I? I remained in. I just bought more. And I'd already had, 400 shares or whatever it was. So by adding more shares lower down isn't going to dramatically lower it, but it has lowered it from 517 to 494. So when am I going to buy again? At what point would I buy again? What point would be safe with my margin to buy again? Well, I know my goals. I know my structure. I have a risk management strategy in place. So when do I buy? I buy, and I only buy below my average. That's it. That is calculated out over the next 10, 20 years. I only buy below my average. I don't care if the stock market goes down today by 10%. I don't care. It can do it all day long if it wants. It can go down 50%, 46%, and I would just be touching a margin line. So it's not going to do that. So it can drop 40%. And I wouldn't be margin called. It's not going to do that. So I'm not bothered. Not bothered at all. But every month that goes by, more and more of the S&P, more and more of my margin gets paid off as we go. More and more gets paid off. So my buying power will keep going up. My buying power was $7,000 a couple of days ago. It's now $9,000. It's increasing all the time. So the margin is being reduced all the time. Every day, my per day charge for margin interest gets lower every single day. Every time I add some money, every time I get some dividends, every time I get something, it goes lower because I'm paying it off, paying it off, paying it off all the time. So in a couple of days' time, in 4 days' time, every 21st of the month, I get paid on YouTube. I will bring some money in. I will bring some money in from my wages on YouTube. Margin on Robinhood will double it because that's how they do it. They will, if I put in 10 grand, they'll give me 20. So I'll have 20 grand more of buying power in addition to what's there now. So let's say I put in 10 grand. I'm not going to, but let's say I put in 10. They would give me 10. That would give me 20 plus the 9 I've got. I'd have $29,000 of buying power. Increased buying power if we ever get that crash and if it goes below my average. If it doesn't go below my average, I won't buy. Well, what about over time? If you're paying down margin all the time, next month you pay down, it goes up. Next month you pay down, the stock market keeps going up. At what point do you buy? I don't buy ever again. I don't need to. I've done the hard work when everybody else was crying and selling and moving into all world and Europe. Just like when Warren Buffett bought Coca-Cola, he went all in and then stopped buying. That's it. He is the only CEO in the world who does not buy back his own shares just to pump the stock. Everybody else does. He only buys Berkshire Hathaway when it's undervalued to protect his shareholders. He doesn't buy it on the way up. That's ridiculous. Sorry, I shouldn't say on the way up. You can buy on the way up, but he doesn't buy it overvalued just to pump the stock. That's what even Apple do that. They buy it to pump the stock. It's a catalyst. It's good, but it's not good for the greatest investor of all time. He doesn't need to do that. And that's what I'm doing. I'm going to wait. Now then, big crashes do come around every few years. So if I keep paying down my margin over and over and over again, eventually my margin will be zero. And at that point, I'll have it probably in the region of 750,000, $750,000, and I'll have a huge amount of buying power. And I have said in the show, you will see me one day live on the show do a $1 million trade, a $1 million trade, and you will. You will see me buy or sell one. Well, you won't see me sell, but you'll see me buy $1 million in one trade. Now, does that sound insane and crazy? No, it doesn't. It's exactly the same as buying $1. The conviction, the understanding, the principle will be the same. The numbers just get bigger. So that's what I'll do. So what I do now is I'm telling you we're going to an all-time high because every single metric is in place. That's why I bought the dip. But I can afford it to drop. I hope it does. I don't care if it does. I don't care if it doesn't. I don't short the market. I'm not in options. I'm not in crypto. I'm only in the S&P. I don't have to worry if it goes up, down, or sideways. All I've got to do is focus on earning money, doing my job, turning up every day, and bringing my margin down. At some point, it may crash, and if it crashes before the margin's paid off, but it goes below my average, I will buy with every penny I have. Again, I will max everything out once again if it goes below the average. If it doesn't, and it keeps going, which it probably will, and eventually I'll have no margin, and then we get dips. I could buy, or I could just wait for a big crash. It doesn't really matter at that point because I won't have any margin. I can buy any price at the S&P. It won't matter. But because I would rather hold cash at that point, earning uninvested cash, I'll wait for big dips because big dips always come. Always. You don't know when, you don't know how, but you know they're always coming. So that's my strategy. That's my short-term, mid-term, long-term strategy. And that's why I'm committed, and my conviction is there for an all-time high any moment because everything is in place. And that's my strategy. That's what I've done from the very, very beginning. And there it is. I hope this was of help to you. I hope it gives you sort of encouragement. If you are down, you're not out unless you sell. It's a long-term plan, a long-term gain. And let me tell you, I can't even tell you what it will feel like to have been through this entire journey and only actually been up at the very beginning like this. The rest of it has been down. Even though I started with just $5,000, I had to restructure my portfolio a couple of times. My overall position has been down, down, down. But am I bothered? No, I'm not. When I started, I had a couple of shares of something. Now I own, 700-800 shares of the S&P at lower prices. My margin is down. I'm in. I'm earning more money, and I'm in for the long term. There you go. There is my strategy, my long-term strategy of why I believe the stock market, the S&P, is going to reach all-time highs at any moment and how I'm going to get to $1 million. And I hope all of this will be of some help to you. Click above my head, down below here, and over here for more information. Thank you.
Paul J donated $5 through a super chat. GM Martin, emitter $474. When would be a good time? BC, I doubt it will go down to 470 again.
VU? I very much doubt it. No. Let me get ready for the S&P. All right. Okay, so here we go. The market is about to open. Good luck, everybody. Here we go.
Your ultimate stakeholder.
Let's get excited. Are we going to get an all-time high today? Extremely likely. We are just a smidge away. So Paul asks, good morning, Martyn. I am at 474. When would be a good time? Because I doubt it will go down to 470 again. I very much doubt it, Paul. So there's not a right and wrong time. It's what's right for you. What is your strategy? If you want to call into the show, we've got the Friday phone in half an hour, and I'll open up the phone line. And it's best to talk to you live on the show, and I can answer your question. All right. Okay. We've got 30 seconds to go. We will then go to members only and answer everyone's question. I will answer everyone's questions. You can call in, ask me anything live on the show. All right. Here we go. Let's get ready to go.
Yeah, but what this says is, look, the 55% is contained, and I agree with this call, although Jim Umpleby's no longer the CEO, Cat, and I loved him. He was great.
5,
he changed
4, 3, 2, 1.
Not the first upgrade lately. Better trends on order flow with the dealers, right?
The bell has gone. Let's go for our positions and then open up the phone line to answer all your questions. Here we go.
So I like the call. Am I in love with the call? No, I wouldn't short it or sell it.
All right.
Real-time exchange with the big board. It's ALS United.
And let's see where we end up today. The board is turning green, more green. Let's watch it. We're just going down a little bit. More green coming in. More green. Let's watch. Okay, let's go here. So There's the overall portfolio up today. The S&P 500, 543, up 0.06, just pulling back a little bit. Virgin Galactic, we're covering this today. It's a short squeeze today on Virgin Galactic. We're going to cover this event live on the show. This is in a few minutes. I told you we get a short squeeze last night. It's already happened. It's continuing its progress. This is a very, very exciting day for Virgin Galactic. We shall cover that on our next stream in a few minutes after this one, after the Friday phone-in. Palantir is up. If you didn't see it last night, by the way, we had a huge moment right here. Boom. It went up 30% last night. We are in a short squeeze now for Virgin Galactic. You don't want to miss it. If you've never seen a short squeeze, you're about to witness it again. You don't want to miss it, as long as everyone doesn't give up and just start selling again, taking profits. I can't predict that. But anyway, we'll cover that in a minute. Palantir going up today, 129. Gold is down today. People taking their profits from gold and buying tech once again. Amazon going up. Apple up today. Wait till it returns. Next Era Energy, one of my favorite stocks. Enphase Energy, great opportunity to buy this. Coca-Cola pumped yesterday, now trimming back again. People moving once again back into tech. J&J 149, great business, going to $200. Keep telling you the same thing over and over again. Chevron up 0.33. Tesla is up today, up 1.3. McDonald's, remember we bought that at $2.90 and everyone said it was too expensive. Google, I told you that this was the best tech stock value-wise, alongside Nvidia, way better than Microsoft. Doing great. That's why Microsoft is down. There you go. Nvidia, I made the prediction, 100% conviction, that Nvidia would be 140 on the earnings. It will. I told you it'd be 140 on the earnings. I told you it'd be 150 on CES from Vegas. It was. It's going to 140 again on the next earnings. We'll cover it live. Walmart going up. Tilray Brands, rubbish. With all this momentum, it's doing nothing. It's a completely dead stock. Robinhood going all the way to $80. IonQ, so expensive, it's ridiculous. I don't know why anyone keeps doing it, but then they do. Rocket Lab, great business, too expensive. It trades like a meme stock. Plug Power up 3% today, 2.95. You can't buy it. Legislation needs to be changed. Bitcoin is down 0.4 and XRP is up 0.53. It got rejected. It didn't want to break through 262. Sensei's got a great video all about the bearish side of it, and it's actually a bit of a warning as well to everybody. We want to always give you the warnings. But there's the stock of the day. Virgin Galactic yesterday began a short squeeze. It was absolutely incredible. Lots of shorts got crushed. It went up 30% in minutes. There are more though. There are more people who have shorted the stock today. So there's more reason for a short squeeze, even more than yesterday. And this could go all the way to $10. All right. Now then, we are going to move over in a minute to a Virgin Galactic special. I've got the full analysis after last night's earnings. Sensei has a chart coming out, and we have got a very, very, very good case that can take Virgin Galactic in seconds to $10. Absolutely. Such good news on this stock. So we're going to cover it in a few moments. You won't want to miss this. If you've never seen a short squeeze, you can get hundreds of % in seconds. And we believe with the short interest that this is about to happen. It happened last night. We had a 30% squeeze, and we believe it's about to happen again. So in a few seconds time, in fact, I might even go to it earlier because I think it's about to happen any moment in the next half an hour, and I really don't want you to miss it because I think it's going to be very exciting to watch. So I'd like to perhaps switch across. So let me just go to members only. If you've got a comment or a question, please ask it now. I'm going to go to members only. So if I've missed you, if you have a comment, a question about anything at all, and I've missed it, please now repeat it. And while you're lining up your comments and questions, I will just give you a few things here. So first of all, if you want our Seeking Alpha and Alpha Spread, the software that I bring to you and how I analyze stocks, it's worth thousands of dollars. Seeking Alpha is, but you can get a huge discount and free trials with the top plans. So please check that out. At least try it for free because I've been able to get you a free trial. Okay, there's Alpha Spread. spread. If you're on a budget, it's much cheaper. You can get a free plan permanently to do a couple of stocks a month, or you can have a pro plan, which basically makes my membership for free. I've done a great deal with the CEO of Alpha Spread. If you want to join me tonight on the music channel, we're going to oh my God, Virgin Galactic's about to go. Oh, it's gonna God, I've got to go over to it. It's about to go. I need to put it on the screen. If you want to join us tonight, we're going to have a celebration. We're going to do a big party tonight. It might be a short squeeze for Virgin Galactic. There's the music channel live there. If you want to follow me on Instagram and X, there it is. There's my X account where I show you all my trades before I make them, information, my private conversations, and it's also the gateway for the whole team. All right. So if you look on X right now, let me show you X. It's going. Oh my God, it's going without me. All right, so there you go. There is our X account. You can go onto X and you can see the whole of our team. There's my music channel. There's Sensei and there's Vaz. You can follow the entire company, so you can get. Oh, it's going. Oh, it's going. Oh, it's going. All right, okay. We haven't got time. We're going to switch across because Virgin Galactic is short squeeze. If you've never seen a short squeeze, this is very, very entertaining. So what I'm going to do now is give you this link. All right, we're going to go to the extra channel for a couple of minutes. Be in there with me live. I can talk to you live, update you from Virgin Galactic. We're going to go to this now. This is the extra channel where I'm live right now. This is me in the studio. So you can talk to me live. This is me live. You're watching a restream from this morning. The chat is all live. And be in there because it's happening right now, and I'll give you the link in here. I'm going to create it right now. So go into the extra channel live right now. A short squeeze is happening. There's the link. Once again, it's happening. You don't want to miss this. Very rarely you get to see a real short squeeze. They are rare. They don't happen every day. There's the link. Go now into extra. I will create the stream, give you the link, and I'll take you from the extra channel to the main stream. Okay, it's not created right now. So go in there. You can talk to everybody. You can see what's going on, and I can give you the link from the extra channel in a few minutes. This is happening live right now. Jump into extra, links in the top, automatically take you there. Jump into extra right now. I will give you the link in about 3 or 4 minutes. Big stuff. You've never seen a short squeeze. You want to see it. Take care of yourselves and each other.